to our Tuesday night Grow Team Family Call. Hey, so glad that all of you have made time to be here. My name is Janelle. So glad to see you all. Oh, you guys, can I just say, like, it was a full bag of Slim and one stick got one tiny little puncture hole in it, and now all of the Slims are coated in this lovely light dusting of pink deliciousness. So now I'm gonna lick my fingers every time I go to rip open a package of Slim. Ah, puppies are great, puppies are great, puppies are great, puppies are great. So pleased. It's the end of September. We still have leaves on the trees. That just seems like a miracle in itself, but I'm pretty sure that with the wind that we are having anyway, they shall be gone in a good 24 hours. Hey, I hope you've all got your pens sitting right beside you along with your paper, because this is going to be something you're going to want to write down right now. Right now. We are having the most amazing, incredible, first ever to happen non-event event in October. We're so excited about this non-event. We almost called it an event, but then that would be horrible. So we're not going to do that. But what we do want to do is communicate to you what this non-event actually is, so that you realize how great it's going to be and how much you don't want to miss this non-event. All right? Does everybody get? So here's the deal. Right now there is a gold and above retreat happening in Lake Louise. And all of us who are gold and above are feeling a little bit sorry for ourselves that it just did not work, whether it was schedules, whether it was farming, whether it was COVID, whether it was just end of the month, lots of things. So we said, well, goodness, we are not folks that like to sit idly by and do nothing. We are going to make our own. And it's not going to be Lake Louise, it'll be Saskatoon. There's a river, it's water. It's pretty much the same thing, right? Right? Heavens. Okay, so what we're doing is this. So, and I'm going to tell you this part because if you're not a senior gold or above, you're going to want to reach for that goal, because I have a feeling that once we kind of get our feet wet with this whole idea of getting together and spending time with one another and loving on each other, we're going to want to do it more often. So we're actually starting the weekend off on Friday with a special gala dinner for our senior golds and above. The senior golds, you will see pictures of them. They will look absolutely stunning. Our senior golds will be beautiful. And part of this is just to kind of appease those of us who were planning on going to convention and getting all dolled up for winter's dinner, all those things, and we didn't get to. So, well, anyway. So we're getting to go out for dinner. We're going to do some awesome connection. And we are all doing this, just so you know, under COVID regulations. We are doing this in a restaurant. It is all on the up and up. In fact, this entire non-event event is completely on the up and up. We are not doing anything shady or squeaky. We're not trying to like slide in on our noses. This is not how we're doing things, guys. We are keeping everything completely on the up and up. So we are spending time at a restaurant. They have a space for us. They will be telling us all of the do's and don'ts. We're Plexus people, so there's probably going to be some hugging if people are going to be okay with that. I thought we need to color code ourselves, ladies. We might need to color code like who's good with hugging, who's good with elbow bumping, Jimmy, you might want to get on that, like wristbands or something, maybe hair ties for everybody. We could just have different colors. Just so that, you know, it couldn't be like, do we hug? Do we not? Air hugs. Okay. So Friday night is only for our senior golds. And then a bunch of us are going to be staying over in a hotel because we are not from Saskatoon. Jimmy Lou has severe FOMO, so she's staying over in a hotel anyway, and she could actually just go home, but she is doing lots of legwork. Just so you know, and it's not that we are organizing this, but if you wanted to stay at a hotel and wanted friends that would be staying at the same hotel, the hotel that I believe that a few of us are considering is the Sheraton Cavalier. So if that is something that is attractive to you, feel free to book your own rooms. because we are not making more out of the non-event event than you get what I'm saying. Anyway, so there's going to be free time after the Senior Gold dinner. Jimmy Lou has her hand up like this, and she's not going to talk about a block of rooms because that would be planning it. So she's going to say something else. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's got a hot tub and it's got water slides. So, hello, I'm ready to go swimming. So, who's ready to do that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be so chlorinated that there's going to be nothing that's going to be able to live there anyway. So, anyhow, that's so awesome. Okay, so bring your cameras. So here's what's happening on Saturday. This is for everyone. We are now opening it up to everyone on our team. We have only 19 spaces left. So if you already know about this and you're kind of hemming and hawing, or you're thinking, oh yeah, I'll send in my registration. Registrations need to be in by October the 2nd is what we're asking for. And that means that payment needs to be in by October the 2nd, because you know, we can't do anything without presents. Presents are super fun. So they're letting me go shopping and fill up swag bags for all of you guys, and you're going to want to be there. So it's $20 registration, and it's going to be so great. So here's the breakdown of the day for all I can tell you, okay? For our non-event event. The first thing is going to be, we are going to do some training from about 9 until 10. I think I said 10 or 10:30-ish, somewhere in there. That will be happening via Zoom, because we cannot get together in a space where we are all going to be able to sit down and talk and whatever. It would guys, it would cost us like over $1,000 to get together to do something like that. And we want to make it cost effective for you. So what we're suggesting is, if you are maybe staying in a hotel with a friend, or you're driving up with somebody, join into the Zoom together. This will only be an exclusive training Zoom for the people who have registered. So it's not going to be open for everybody. It's just for people who have registered. Okay. So that will be happening. And then I think a few people are planning on going over to the Midtown Plaza to do a little bit of wandering in a socially distanced manner, if it is so chosen. And then there has been some talk about some outdoor walking activities that we don't know. So basically what we're saying is there's nothing planned after the Zoom for the morning. You can kind of choose your own adventure, but basically what we want to do is we want, Amy says, Jimmy Lou's hotel hallway, 6 feet apart. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that they'll be good with that. What we want to do is basically place all of us in the same city, and then you guys can choose to congregate with maybe your team, with a couple sidelines or whatever. And then there has been talk that I'm planning to go and sit down in the food court at Midtown somewhere around noon. And so I can have 5 other people sit at my table with me. So you're all welcome. First 5 people. And then I know Sherry is going to eat somewhere also. And so she's going to sit down somewhere, and there will be 5 other spaces. I think Amy takes one. There will be 4 other spaces to sit there, and Jimmy's going to sit somewhere, and there's going to be 5 other spaces. Do you guys understand what we're saying? This is a very large space. We can all have lunch, and we can be boisterous and wonderful and all those things in a large space that accepts all of us together, okay? Here's the other thing, guys. If you are a mask-wearing person, go for it. Do it. Whatever works for you. We will be respecting people's distancing or whatever. And if you're just upfront with what you're comfortable with, we will definitely take that into consideration when we're talking to people. Nicole's ready to go shopping, so I'm going with Nicole. Nicole's going to sit at my table. It's all good. So then the afternoon at between 1 and 1:30, we are going to make our way over to Wilson's Greenhouse. So this is where the adventure piece comes in. And there's going to be a fun activity that is going to unfold at Wilson's Greenhouse. As well, there will be an opportunity for us to do the rope course and the go-karts and all those things. All these costs are up to you guys, and they do, I think that they do give a group, they do a group rate. I don't know. We're really having a hard time getting a hold of them, but they'll take us. They're excited to see us, and they don't have maximum numbers for people, so we can go. So basically what we want to do is we want to give you guys the opportunity to be together, to talk to each other, to create great relationships, to start new relationships, take pictures in front of the beautiful foliage that they have in their greenhouse, great for social proof. We're going to be doing, like I said, an activity that's going to be really fun. And then we're basically going to kick around that greenhouse until 4 o'clock-ish, okay? So there'll be a very loose structure, okay? But we're still together, right? And I was actually, when I was talking with Sherry the other day, I said, you know, this will actually give us an opportunity that even convention doesn't give us, because when we're at convention, convention is amazing. Guys, do not get me wrong. Convention is amazing. But we tend to be really spread out, and it's really hard to get everybody together to do something or to take a picture or to do something like that. And this is going to be one of those ways where we can all be in the same general area. Ta-da, right? I think it's going to be fantastic. Then what we're saying is the non-event will not conclude, will conclude. I don't know how to say that. 4 o'clock is when we intend to be done our non-event at the greenhouse. If at that point you need to head home, I know we have people that are coming from like 4 hours away. If you guys need to get on the road, totally fine. If you want to grab a couple sidelines, or you want to grab your own downline and you guys want to go for dinner somewhere, do that. We actually had talked about potentially making reservations for tables of 6 at a restaurant. Like, we've said that our cutoff for below senior golds is 30 ambassadors. And so if we did like 5 tables of 6 or more, we would almost take over the entire restaurant, and it would be like having our own space anyway. So, oh my gosh, could you please bring your baby to the call every time, Chelsea? Like, cause I went to Costco yesterday. There were so many little ones. I was like, okay, I have a puppy at home, but maybe I could have a baby. I don't know. There would need to be some serious medical intervention that happened. So anyway, guys, the swag bag, like I said, $20 for your registration to hold your spot. It is non-refundable, but you can transfer it to somebody else who might be interested in coming. Please send e-transfers to, and it's Sherry Grant, Sherry, would you put your email address just in the chat there, please? Sherry Grant at sasktel.net. Include your name and your rank. I think that's all. That's all. And then I'm also considering the concept of, if on a case-by-case basis. Oh yeah, sorry. Password is Plexus with a capital P for your e-transfers. I'm also considering, for people who have like a case-by-case basis, I would consider a virtual ticket. It will cost the same amount, because what you're paying for is the swag bags, and we will have to figure out how to get it to you. So anyway, all of those registrations need to be in, and if it's a virtual ticket, please talk to me first. Don't just email Sherry and be like, but I'm not coming, because then that space can be for someone else. All right.
Question.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Question. Do we have it up on Grow yet? I didn't take a look yet, or do we need to? No. Okay.
I am very hesitant to put anything in writing.
Oh, okay. Okay. So maybe what we need to do is
just get
it around. Just get it around to your people.
Please tell your people. We don't want to miss anybody, but because of restrictions and things like that, we don't want to be advertising that we're doing this big thing. The less attention we can have drawn to ourselves, the better. Like, first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you guys, so you know, we are taking everything into consideration. There are so many other things that we would have rather done that would have brought us closer together and all of those things, but we really wanted to be mindful of what wasn't going to be something that would get our businesses in trouble, get you in trouble, get me in trouble, all the trouble. I'm such a rule follower. Anyway, so very exciting. I know that some people are planning on staying over again on Saturday night. Do your own thing. Sherry, do you have anything to add?
I think the only thing I would add is when your transfers come, be sure that the name makes sense. People's Facebook names and their names on transfers don't always flow through real well. And make sure that your email is there so that if we need to email you something for the special activities, that we've got that.
Yes, please. The other thing that I was going to say is this is a tax deduction, you guys. So when you send the e-transfer and it says Sherry Grant accepted your e-transfer, print that sucker out because that is what you will use for your taxes for 2020. All right? Excellent. So I want to hear from you guys tonight. We're going to open it up and do a Q&A. Any questions, any burning questions that you happen to have, product, business, all those things, anything that would help you finish off your month or start a new month, anything you've been dying to ask somebody, we would love to know what it is. But I would first love to hear in the chat, while you guys are thinking about your questions, would you tell us one hobby that you guys have that maybe we don't know about? What is what hobby do you have that maybe people are not aware of? It might be one person that knows or whatever. Alicia's got some amazing ones. Nicole, I think, is working on hers right now. I saw a marker. Maybe we should get Nicole to design us some habit trackers, and maybe she could like be really nice and scan them and email them, and then we could put them in the swag bags. That would be brilliant. Totally brilliant. Alicia says swing dancing and rock climbing before she moved to Medicine Hat. Well, there's like rocks in Medicine Hat. You could climb them. Not far from Medicine Hat. The whatchamacallit, my kids always went sliding down the hills in Medicine Hat. That's kind of like rock climbing. Some of them are pretty vertical. Chelsea says sewing antique dresses from old patterns. Oh, that sounds fun. Leona is reading. Linda's doing scrapbooking. I saw your crew doing scrapbooking. Now, while I'm reading all these, this is when you guys are thinking about your Q&As for all of us, because we've got some smart leaders on here. I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to turn it all over to them. They're going to answer you. Oh gosh, Leisha, I read that wrong. See, something you'll learn about me is that sometimes I'm a little squirrely. So I start reading the beginning of a sentence and then I'll skip later and I'll miss all the other words. I thought she said she makes something out of baby teeth. I was like, oh heavens. She makes baby teethers. It's better. Oh, it's getting hot in here.
Sorry, I don't have my mute on.
You don't have your mute on, but that was perfectly timed. I like baby teethers much better than crafts with baby teeth, but if somebody else can show me something that they make with baby teeth that's okay, that might not ick me out, I'm okay to be reformed.
Hey, I knew a lady that once made things out of dried placentas, so there you go. She made a wreath for her house.
A wreath?
A wreath.
Did you know how good that stuff is when you encapsulate it?
Apparently.
Yeah. She should have done that. Yeah. No, Chelsea's like, what? Yes. You should take a look. There's something for you to Google during late night feeds. I want you to Google benefits of encapsulating placenta. It actually, the things that you never knew before Plexus.
I had to deliver a placenta after a doula client. I had to deliver her placenta to someone who was encapsulating it. So, yep, that is true.
Okay.
Do it themselves.
This is what happens late night when Plexus girls get together. A lot of laughing and a lot of talk like this. You're just experiencing
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
rabbit
Leona,
trail.
Leona has all the things. She's got succulents. Leona has a plant problem. We may have to take her to like Succulents Anonymous pretty soon. She might need to be institutionalized. But she's got a beautiful array of plants, and she paints. Let's see what else. Stacy Ween says, I don't have time for hobbies. No, that's because you turned your hobby into a business. So you're just smarter than the rest of us. Oh, dear. Reading. We saw that already. Melanie does reading. Leona says she's boring, but she's got more in there. Okay, Debbie Funk is saying, my daughter and I were discussing this today. She says, my hobby is joining committees and volunteering. Hey, you know what? That's a pretty good hobby. Organizing things, closets and spaces. Stacy, there is a bed for you to come to my house. And I don't have many closets, but they need help on many levels. Leisha says she almost did the encapsulation, but it costs too much. Now you need to talk to Plexus people because they will tell you how to do it and get it done. Anyway. Jimmy Lou, how is your hobby carrots? I'm confused. I've never heard of a hobby being carrots before. Now she mutes herself. She's not going to answer that one. Eating carrots. Got it. Okay, guys, we're going to open the floor up to some Q&A to help you through the end of your month. Any topic you want, nothing is off limits, but we've got a 35-minute time limit. So if you got a burning question, the timer's ticking. And you can direct it. Lisa's going to go first. You can direct it specifically to a person if you would like to. Oh, this is going to be fun. Just unmute yourself and.
I totally didn't have my hand up, but
I thought you were. Do you have a question? I don't know.
nothing on right now, but I probably will.
I thought someone was gonna ask me where the banners came from. I'm always worried that someone is gonna ask on like a corporate call or something like that. Best place for international training. Oh, that's a good question. It depends. So we've got the International Me+3 Facebook group. Also, if you want, you can join each individual country that's open. You can join their Facebook group. So like we have Plexus in Canada, there's a Plexus in Mexico, Plexus in Australia. You can join those groups. You can also join the ambassador communities for those countries also. But here's a really, really simple thing for everyone to do. If you're wanting information on a particular country, all you have to do is when you sign in to your back office, go click the flag at the top of your page to whatever country you want, and then you will get that content from that back office. Oh, Nikki, what do you wonder? International training?
Your banners.
Oh, and Tracy isn't here either. My banners. Well, you know, Jimmy Lou actually prefaced it really well, and she said, you know, there's things that happen when Plexus girls get together late at night, and there's a lot of laughter, and there's a lot of things. So we had at Leaders Retreat in 2017, we had a pirate party because Leaders Retreat is usually over Halloween. We had a pirate party, and there was some pilfering that happened on the way back to our barracks, and they were taking down all of the Plexus graphics and whatever, and we'd been trying to ask Alec if it was okay if we took them, and he thought we were talking about like the massive like semi-trucks long banner that I don't like wouldn't even fit in my home. And he's like, I don't know. And so I brought a friend with me to Leaders Retreat. So here's the other thing. You need to watch what kind of friends you bring with you. I brought a pastor's wife who's like my bestie. And she's like, oh, just take them. And so she started taking them down. So we took them out of the Gaylord Resort Hotel in Florida and took 2 for me and 1 for Tracy Schellenberg and 1 for Marge Martins. I think that's all. And then we ran really, really quickly to our hotel rooms. And the funny thing is that the lady, this was before Darla Brown was with us, Plexus Canada. The lady who was doing her job, I saw her at the airport, and of course she was like right in front of me in line, and they made me take everything out of my carry-on bag. And so I had these 2 like rolled things that I had to like show, and no other airport had made me take them out yet. Anyway, nobody asked. I've been on multiple corporate Zooms, nobody's asked. So I'm just waiting for the day that they're like, Janelle Phillips, would you please return your stolen Leaders Retreat banners to Arizona head office at your expense? They were just gonna throw them away anyway, and it looks pretty. There, now you know. Okay, next question. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Nikki. Stealing is wrong.
Well, not a question, but I have to say thanks, Jimmy Lou, for doing so much calling in the last 2 days. I don't know, for those international ones, New Zealand and Australia have been going crazy. My sister's order didn't go through because it said that she had $10,000 worth of products. So that's kind of why the card declined. So
You know what? That is actually, I'm glad you said that, because I was reading something in the Jewel group today and I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. They actually had this, it was a system blip where there were carts and it wasn't trying to, on most of them, they wasn't trying to process it. They were just sitting there with like $1,000, over $1,000 US in their carts. So they cleared all of that out and they're sending emails to everybody tomorrow if it affected them, and they will make it right. Always, always, always. So thank you for your patience, my dear.
yeah, that was crazy. But so Jimmy did a lot of calling. So thank you.
She's a rock star. Way to go, Jimmy Lou. High five. I'll buy you a carrot. Maybe she gets the Golden Carrot Award. Who else? Gotta be
I
some.
also have just a general, like, other than the triplex, what are the favorite products and why?
Pass. No. I'll talk after anybody else shares.
For me, I have been loving and realizing how much I've been missing because I haven't been consistent with Vital Biome and Ease together. Vital Biome and Ease are my new favorites. Well, not new favorites. I've always loved them, but I had a couple months where I wasn't doing them super consistently, and I just noticed my mood was I was cranky and not in good mood. And so I've been back on them for a few weeks now, and it's just, yeah, can't do without them unless I want my kids and husband to be annoyed with me.
You know what? Nolan has actually said that to me too. He goes, next month I think maybe you need to be a little bit more consistent with your Vital Biome because you can kind of tell about.
I said it to my husband too. I said, you haven't been taking your Vital Biome lately. Hey? He's like, no, I really need to start back on. I'm like, do you notice a difference? He's like, yeah, I have way more patience for the family when I'm taking it. So yeah.
FYI, I can tell when my kids are taking their stuff and when they're not. And so parents, even if you got to drop it into their milk, I don't know, just get it into them.
Yeah.
Suzanne says BioCleanse. Debbie says MetaBurn. I think that that's so amazing. Alicia says Ease.
Right now, probably MetaBurn and X Factor Plus are really high on my list.
So Sherry, tell us about MetaBurn and how you're taking it and why you're taking it and why those 2 things are high on your list, because I know that it's actually a special answer.
Well, they are So I'm actually taking 4 Metaburn a day. When I started taking Metaburn, I realized that my thermostat increased. I know that thyroid is your temperature regulator, and that temperature regulation in your body relates to metabolism. When we're cold, our metabolism is slower. I've always been cold. So I started taking Metaburn, and my metabolism started to increase. And that was really interesting. And so I heard quite early on that the dosages that are on our bottles are maintenance doses. And so for somebody who was taking thyroid support medication, I thought, why would I take maintenance doses? So I increased my Metaburn to 4, and starting back early in 2020, I had also been looking at X Factor Plus and the amount of zinc in it, the need for zinc in terms of our immune system. And I had done the dosages and the amounts and determined that 4 X Factor Plus was the amount of zinc that many doctors were recommending. So I've been doing 4 and 4, and I have come to the spot where I no longer need any other thyroid medication or any other thyroid support. So for me, those two, I mean, in addition to the triplex, which is just foundational, those two have been amazing.
Awesome.
Sherry, do you take all 4 together, or do you split them up throughout the day?
Great question, Stacy.
That's a great question.
So I had been doing 2 Metaburn when I got up in the morning and 2 Metaburn before lunch, and all 4 X Factor Plus together with my lunch.
So I tried it. You should not try something new if you are not like level, like don't play with your dosages if you're trying to like do month end or something. I think it was last month or the month before that I did that. And I was like, I need to walk this back a little bit because I'm a little bit of a basket case right now because the body needs to adjust.
Yeah. So anytime you're increasing, anytime you're changing the time, your body does need to adjust. And I'm in the cattle industry, so it's always easy to explain to my cattle raising friends that it's just like gut health on any animal. When you do a sudden change of diet, their body has to do a big change. So just recently, Stacy, I've gone to 3 Metaburn first thing in the morning and taken my other Metaburn just before lunch. And that's been working so well. I may go to 4 together.
That's awesome.
I'm not confident it's going to work as well because I'm not confident I'm going to get that same 24-hour flow.
I also wanted to mention that there is copper as one of the trace minerals in X Factor Plus. And I talked about copper a little bit on my Monday Morning Minute yesterday about how oftentimes people who are considered anemic or they need more iron are actually deficient in trace minerals and not actually in iron. And so this is why X Factor Plus can be so amazing for people who need an iron supplement, not only the black currant that is in it, but the copper, the chromium, the if they're taking BioCleanse, the magnesium, all those things play into the absorbency or the ability to absorb better. Now, Suzanne said, what if one doesn't want their thermostat to go up? It doesn't necessarily work that way. Sherry?
Right. Because Metaburn has adaptogens in it. And adaptogens are designed to work with the part of your system that needs assistance. So for some people, Metaburn will not shift their thermostat at all if that's not their key issue. For me, as I've learned over time, my key issue has always been hormone balance and that whole hormone system. The story's long and you don't need to hear it. But because of that, that adaptogen, that Metaburn, that increase in temperature, that was exactly what I needed.
That's so awesome. Now, Alicia's saying, anyone have any ideas why Metaburn would make me feel off? Yes. Yes, we do. Again, not everyone is ready or right for every product. Now, almost every product can work for everyone, but Metaburn would be one of those ones that I'd be like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So my personal story is when it came out, it was launched in January, and I was like, I'm going to try this and I'm going to give this I'm committing, right? So I committed to 6 months on Metaburn, 2 a day. And I started out with 1, I tried it with food, without food, whatever. It didn't matter how I took it. Every day between 1 and 3 in the afternoon, I had a nap and I was down so deep. I think I was like in the deepest sleep possible. And you kind of go like, how is that even possible? Because it's Metaburn, right? Like it's got caffeine in it and most people wouldn't be able to sleep if they did that. My body was still recovering from adrenal fatigue from the year before. And so I needed to give my adrenals more time to heal and more focused time on things like, thank goodness it came out, ProbioCA, which is what I started on, I think it would have been December that they sent it to us. Upping my X Factor Plus, doing all those things. So I can't remember how long it is that I've been on Metaburn again, but I gave it a rest for at least 6 months. I think I may have gone back on it in December, could have been January. Totally different, completely different now. I can take it and I'm great. And oddly enough, I actually take my Metaburn in the morning on an empty stomach with my Slim and Active. So think about like I'm taking my Metaburn with my Active at the same time. It does not affect me. Sherry has seen what happens if I don't take it. Because she was running a mastermind early in the morning, and it was like my brain has gotten so accustomed to having both the Active and the Metaburn on board. There was one day that I was like, I just don't understand why I'm not clearer or why things aren't coming. And then I found the 2 Metaburns sitting on my counter. I'd only had the Active. So Metaburn works really well to clear up my brain. So yeah, Alicia, I would just give it a rest for a little while.
I have other comments about that as well.
Cool.
I do funny when I take Metaburn probably about 2 hours later, and funny is the only word. When I started, it was 1. I have it with my breakfast, the beginning of my breakfast, kind of a thing. And when I started, I did it for, like you said, 2. I split them up so that my tummy was less funny, and I didn't notice anything. I didn't notice getting warmer. I didn't notice anything. And so I did it for 3, and I said, well, if this is somebody else, I'd tell them they need to do it longer. And then I quit for a while, and then I started, same thing. Strange, funny tummy, but nothing. No warm up, no extra energy, nothing. And so that was a discussion where, well, I do have severe adrenal issues because I only have 1, and severe thyroid issues because the medication quantity I'm on is significantly higher than most people. And so the comment was, you probably need a therapeutic dose, 4. So I do 2 in the morning and 2 at lunch. And then at night when I go to bed, my feet are not bricks of ice. That's like just about the only thing that I notice. If I only have 2 instead of 4, because I've forgotten 2 days in a row or something, my feet are cold when I go to bed.
That's super interesting.
So my body is doing all of those things in a very different way.
And I think it's really important for us as we're helping people to realize that sometimes the amounts that we think are what we've been told are just a drop in the bucket compared to what their body really needs for healing. And yes, Alicia, hands and feet cold, Yeah, we do think it's normal, but guess what? It's not.
No, totally. I was gonna say though, best advice I can give you guys about Metaburn is to, if you're going to take it with food or you're going to take it like anytime, make sure it's the first thing down and then either a whole lot of liquid or food on top of it. If it sits on top of liquid or on top of food, the capsule will open and then you will get a burning sensation that's like heartburn. And it's just, it is just the capsule. It needs to be further down in your stomach. Yeah. Metaburn has definitely warmed up my body. For me, I don't take it, like I know Leona asked about weight loss. For me, I didn't take it for weight loss. That's me. I took it because of the benefits to everything else that is there. So.
I'll pop in. I don't take it necessarily for weight loss. I love everything else that it does. I feel happy. I feel awake. I feel energized. I love, and I'm perfectly warm. I'm not hot. I don't get super cold. I can go to the hockey rink and not have cold feet, cold hands, I'm warm. I'm perfectly warm. But yeah, no, I just know that if the bottle says it or the label or something, it's supposed to help with, I don't know, losing inches or something, right? So I was just wondering, and I haven't had that. So I'm like, that would be a bonus for me. But I was just wondering if the 4 would be, just a little bit more of a kick for that. But
I would say it depends on if metabolism is your issue. But
right. Okay.
That's what I would say. Sherry?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It depends if the adaptogens are meeting. It's like a chain, and if you've got one weak link in the chain, if the adaptogens in Metaburn strengthen that weak link, then that's going to make a difference to your health.
So here's another example of that. Ease. A couple of years ago, a whole bunch of the Diamonds went on a kick with Ease, where they decided that they were going to commit to taking 10 of them a day for 2 months, 3 months, or something like that. And guys, you know what? When I travel, I take probably minimum of 12 of these a day. That's just what I take. It's what I like. It feels really good. My feet are never sore, ever. I don't have to worry about digestive issues or anything like that when I'm traveling. I just like them. So if you've never actually taken 6 E's at one time, just go for it. You need to do it. It's really amazing. Anyway, but if inflammation is the issue that you have with puffiness or weight or anything like that, focusing on Ease versus Metaburn is going to make more sense because it's going to meet you where you're at with Ease. She's saying is that's so much, I'm guessing you can't overdose on this stuff. I've heard of people taking 18 of them. It's basically like you'd get indigestion or you probably get diarrhea before you'd do too much bad. But I've heard of people taking 18 a day who have had really, really bad arthritis. The other thing is I don't know how many people would want to be starting 1 bottle every 3 days. So I'm going to guess the bank account is probably going to run out before you're going to overdose on it. Sorry, I'm just going to go up.
I think on the Ease, the doctor that developed it said that you could take the whole bottle and there would be no harm. My experience with enzymes is if you take a lot of enzymes at one time, they go to work in your stomach and it's very uncomfortable in the digestion area. And then, like Al says, you're probably going to have things moving through at a more rapid rate than you find comfortable.
Yeah. You can also pair Ease with Nerve for an interesting experiment if you are a pain sufferer. Those 2 products were actually made to go together, and we love them for headaches at our house. Just brand new. So
I think Diana had asked about
Sherry.
Dorome
Sorry.
breakup.
Yeah.
I'd be the expert if you wanted to ask about that. I never thought my skin was of concern at all. And when I got Joyome, I was really excited, started full on day and night serum. Loved how it felt. And I'd say probably by day 4, I got a breakout like you would never imagine. My face was turning red. I was getting red patches. It was unbelievable. I'm like, that's just annoying. What's going on? I ended up having to stop the day serum actually, which was very interesting, not the typical thing, and use aloe vera and drink lots of water and all these things. And my assumption is my skin responded very, very quickly. It started changing the microbiome on my skin, which is actually what it does. And anytime there's sudden, quick changes, it reacts. I mean, it was reacting. And so it took a few days for things to settle down. I went back to using it. When I start people on Joyome, I often suggest they start a little slower. I ended up actually blending it with the body cream to kind of let my skin have a chance to adjust. And I love Joyome.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do that. I find my skin goes in cycles, which is probably with my hormones. And so I will go through periods where I do still mix it with the body cream, especially for the night. But yeah, I've been there too. And this is where we really want to work with you guys and work with our ambassadors on belief in why the products work and how they should work, right? It's not one of those things where you're trying something from a drugstore and you're like, it made my face all red, I'm just going to stop, right? It's like, no, why? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? What is the mechanism that's working here? And why would it be? Like, don't be afraid to ask why. So yes, thank you, Sherry. Sherry does have, and Sherry's got amazing results with Joyome, like absolutely amazing. The year that Joyome came out, we went to convention together. She was getting stopped all the time. Like, oh my gosh, you're the Joyome lady. And it was amazing. Can't they make Ease smell and taste better? Well, they can, but it wouldn't work as well because then they'd take out the green lipped muscle. And the green lip muscle is what smells bad. So you know what? I can tell you, I'm reformed. It used to be that I had, and guys, I'm crazy. I had like a breathing technique. It was kept in my freezer. I had specific things that I would drink with it so I didn't taste it. I hate fish. I can't stand the smell of it. It just really, and now I can take it with water. No big deal. So yes, we hear you. No, we don't. We want to keep it the same. Can you remind me of the reason we take Ease and Vital Biome together? And is it 2 Ease to 1 Vital Biome or the other way around? Nicole Crawford, do you have an answer for that? You need to unmute. She's like, don't talk to me.
I'm muted. I'm like, don't make me talk. I don't really have like a really good explanation, but they just work together and help. Like they can help with some detox. They kind of work together and fight harder at that candida yeast and fungus. And that's kind of my simple answer to that.
That's perfect. It's very true. Basically, it gives you the enzyme piece of ProBio CA in with Vital Biome.
Thanks for making me sweat.
No, you're welcome. She knows I love her. So here's another thing. We don't want an always, always, always statement, right? Because we do know of some people who feel better without the Ease, right? But typically, Ease with Vital Biome is a really, really good idea. For someone with arthritis, what would the main stuff be for them to be on? Triplex, 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 because all inflammation starts with gut health, which is why arthritis for me went completely away with triplex and X Factor, not Ease at all. But Ease is great too. Ease and Nerve. Does anybody have anything to add? Oh, and I would say getting up to that therapeutic dose that Sherry was talking about on ProBio CA and really pushing through that adding Ease for extra help with detox. But it just depends on what they're like, if their body is ready to go. I mean, Extra Slim can help too with the alpha lipoic acid in the nerves and the extra inflammation. Does anybody have anything to add to that? X Factor, the smell in X Factor is because of the chlorophyll. And here's the thing, and this is what I love telling people. If you can smell it and it smells like plants, that's because it is. And if something is telling you that it's made from plants and it doesn't smell like plants, you should question whether or not it actually comes from plants. So I'm happy to take my X Factor. I drink lots of water afterwards. If I have an issue, I'll take a bite of something. Well, because I'm taking it with food anyway, right, guys? Food. Because of the mineral content, it can be hard on your system. But yeah, I am so thankful that, actually, I'm really thankful it smells, because then I can tell people, yes, that smell is the amazing goodness that's in it. It is plant-based, fully methylated. You cannot get better sourcing for these. And my kids take them and they don't, like my younger kids take X Factor Plus capsules and they do not complain. Actually, I have one kid who like opened a thing of Ease opened in his mouth. He's like, it tastes really good. I'm like, oh, all right, gross. All right, we've got 5 more minutes. Does anyone find that X Factor helps a bit with brain fog sometimes, even tiredness? That'll be your B vitamins. Is it normal to burp a lot after taking X Factor? Does anyone want to take that one? I don't have to be the know-it-all. Anybody want to wager a guess?
I can try.
Go for it.
My husband actually found that he farted a lot when he took X Factor. And so I think it's just, it might make you a little bit extra gassy, but when he started taking BioCleanse with it, it like 100% went away. So
I would say that it is actually part of the healing process and detoxification. Adjusting. So what aloe will do when you take it internally is it actually helps to rebuild the stomach lining. So as that is adjusting and things are healing and all of those things, you can expect some discomfort, some other adjustments. Some people say that they burp like crazy, and my theory is if you take this first and put your food on top of it, or take a couple bites of food, stick that in, and then finish your meal, it should be far enough down that you shouldn't have a whole lot of that kind of indigestion. Yes, and yeah. we will do the same thing about X Factor in the freezer.
Yeah, if I can say something, I was very much before Plexus. I was one of those people that to get a pill down, I felt like, yeah, like my throat was closing. I was like doing everything. I was plugging my nose, all those kind of things. And so with taking the products, 3 years later, I don't even think about it. And yes, X Factor, same thing. Burping, I'd be, both hands going like, but finally, I don't even think about it anymore. So yes, it's a healing. You're going through a process of healing. And we just have to tell people, hey, like, it's normal. Like, it's normal. And you'll get through it. I promise. Right. But yeah, this is what I've had to used to do is plug my nose, get it down, take a drink of water, get through it. But yay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually was going to say, I don't even know if I should share this. So I have a very sensitive gag reflex, and I've been taking Plexus for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years, and it's either next month or the month after. I can never remember. I will often gag on my pills and like stuff comes up And I don't even think twice about it anymore because it's just something I do. And it's just something that I take. Like, there are times when I go to put pills back, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. But it's just, like, I've had people stop because they gagged or because they like couldn't swallow pills. And I'm like, you're just not trying hard enough because I have the might to, I know these puppies need to go down because it's going to be good, right? It's just your will to get them down, right? And it took me probably 4 years to try Ease because I just wouldn't. Like, I couldn't handle the fact that it was fish. And yeah, I love the fact that we talk about how our Mega X is like no fishy burps, and then we've got Ease and X Factor. We're like, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, and I used to keep Ease in the freezer. And yes, I have been there where I've almost thrown up multiple times if I have not taken my X Factor. But oddly enough, that was only at the beginning of taking X Factor. I couldn't take it with breakfast. I had to take it with a noon meal where I hadn't been fasting. And now I can take it whenever. I can take it with a lean shake, whereas before that would not have been enough.
So just a fun fact, and this is because I've done this to myself. Heartburn for me, I've never had heartburn except as a detox symptom when I've been pushing my ProBio-CA or ProBio-5 higher than maybe would be advised. And I've ended up with detox. And then I have heartburn and it wakes me up in the night. And it's very uncomfortable and very annoying. And finally, one of my ambassadors said, oh, she said, I just take an X Factor. I'm like, you what? Oh yeah, she says, if I get heartburn, I just get up and take an X Factor, drink lots of water. It's good. I'm like, well, it's worth a try. So of course, this happened to me again. I got up in the night. I came to the kitchen. I took an X Factor. I drank probably 2 cups of water. And in 15 minutes, the heartburn was gone. It's worth a try.
Amazing. I love our products. BioCleanse should do the same thing. But yes, X Factor, that's awesome. Suzanne, I love it. She's like, we send every orthopedic dog home on Greenlit Muscle. I have noticed so many products that have Greenlit Muscle and turmeric in it for Riot, for my puppy. And actually our vet is pro Plexus. She's like, there's nothing that Plexus has that would be, I mean, obviously other than like Metaburn, because you shouldn't give a dog caffeine, but like, you know, using your brain, there's nothing that Plexus has that you shouldn't give to a dog for supplements. So she's great with Ease. And I tell you, when he has been teething and you can tell like he's just chewing on everything, you throw a capsule of Ease into a little bit of coconut oil and mix it up, and he is good. Okay, hold on. What do you suggest for adult ADHD? Not getting on a Zoom without, no. Anybody want to answer this one, or is this my baby? Well, first of all, gut health, triplex for certain. Did you know that magnesium is actually 12 times more effective than Ritalin? Make sure that they are pooping and that their system is cleaned out. There's so many studies to suggest that attention deficit or mental health issues really start to stem from chronic constipation. So that's the first thing. For myself personally, if I'm having a super squirrely day, nothing grounds me better than Edge. Because there is, oh, help me. Hold on. Nothing up my sleeve, and presto. It's the theacrine in the Edge that we do not have in Metaburn or in Active. We have L-theanine, but it's the theacrine that I find really, really helps me. You guys have been on Zooms where I've been like, I'm very hard to follow. I like to just think that my brain goes really fast, but I will say that Metaburn and Active do help me a lot. But like I was saying before, it was almost like like when I take them together, they're really good because you know that caffeine does help people with, I was gonna say brain issues, ADHD. But it was almost like my brain was going at two different speeds when I didn't have the active and the MetaBurn together. It was like I was making decisions about something before I'd even thought of the concept. Like it was almost like a delay. So that was super interesting. Gut health, gut health, gut health. Is there a YouTube video? Debbie, you know who's really great to listen to is Dr. Schultz. Schutz, S-C-H-U-T-Z-E. He has his own supplements that are really expensive for us to get, and actually most of them get destroyed coming across the border. But he talks about a patient that he had who used to be, I think it was a teacher, and basically went like almost catatonic, depression, crazy, like absolutely insane. And he did a bowel cleanse with him, and he became essentially, I'm condensing, did a bowel cleanse with him. And that was the only product that he needed to use. He didn't use any of the other stuff that that Dr. Schutz had offered him. And he was completely a functioning human being again. It's incredible. Like if you go to his website, and you can just Google Dr. and I think it's S-C-H-U-T-Z-E. Let me just look. It's phenomenal. And there's so many things that are Plexus products that are the same as what he offers. And the same theories go. Okay, while I'm looking that up, does somebody else want to read? What if aloe is something that your body is super sensitive to for digestion? Would you recommend ease? Can someone answer that? I'm just going to make sure that I've got the... Sherry? Since you and I tend to be the only ones that are talking, you want to talk about aloe sensitivity versus ease?
No, I don't, because I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
And actually, I'm looking at the time and thinking, just in respect of people's time, that maybe if this is something that everybody likes, that we should plan to do one of our team meetings each month on this kind of a Q&A discussion feature, and that could help people to think about it and help them to come with questions, because Alicia's got another great question here.
Okay, so oh, that didn't come through right. herbdoc.com. No, why is it doing that? .com. That's herbdoc.com is Dr. Schultz, and it is Schultz. I couldn't remember which one it was. And it's all about, yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not saying that I support absolutely everything that he does, but those stories I completely believe when we're talking digestion stuff. All right, guys, end of the month. Don't forget, it's not over till it's over. Tomorrow is a long day. And there are lots of people that still need us to show up for them and their health journey. Remember that when we are following up with people, we are not just following up and showing up for them today, but we are showing up for the 6-month version of them, the 8-month version, the 1-year version. So don't be afraid. And the one thing that I want to leave with you is when you are going to do your reach outs, when you're going to talk with your ambassadors, when you're looking at those people who are white lines or 0 PV or whatever, here's a great thing that I heard today. I had to reach out to you because you matter to me. And that's the basis of our entire business, guys. We love people. It's all about loving on people. So if you're looking for something to say to someone that you don't know how to bring up, hey, I noticed you turned off your subscription. Hey, you've got under 100 PV. Hey, you haven't been ordering. Hey, I'm reaching out to you because you matter to me. I know you have health goals. What's going on? I know sometimes I forget to return text messages, whatever, but it's all about taking care of people. Thank you guys so much for your huge hearts for people. Love tonight. Have a great night. Thank you to Sherry and Jimmy and Amy and Nick.